All right, let's talk about AI. But today, we're going to completely rethink what an AI assistant can actually be. I want you to forget about the web browser for a second. Just imagine, what if your AI had a permanent home, right there on your own computer?
I mean, think about how you use AI right now. It's probably stuck inside a browser tab, right? You pop in, you ask a question, you get an answer, and then what? The second you close that tab, poof, it's all gone. The context, the conversation, everything. It's useful, yeah, for sure, but it doesn't really know you. It feels more like a calculator you have to keep opening, not a real assistant that actually grows with you.
And really, this comparison right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the problem. You've got your browser AI that, lives and dies in that one tab. It forgets everything. But a local assistant, well, that lives on your machine. It builds a memory over time. And it's not just there to talk at you, it's built to actually do things for you. And that, right there, is the huge shift we're going to dive into.
Okay, so how do we actually make that leap? How do we go from a forgetful tool to a permanent teammate? Well, the answer we're going to look at today is a really cool project called ClawdBot. So, what is ClawdBot exactly? Well, at its core, it's a self-hosted AI agent. Now, the two big phrases to remember here are self-hosted and runs directly on your computer. So, this is not another website or cloud service. It's actual software that gives your AI a permanent home right on your own machine.
Okay, and here's the really clever part about how this whole thing works. The agent, you can think of that as the brain that manages memory and tasks. That part lives right on your PC. But for the really heavy-duty thinking, it connects out to powerful models like Claude or ChatGPT using something called an API. Just think of the API as a secure, private phone line. This setup, it's honestly the best of both worlds. You get the raw brain power of a massive AI model, but you also get the privacy and control of a local app that can actually interact with your system.
All right, so what does this all mean in practice? How does this setup become something way more powerful than just a simple chatbot? Let's get into what it can actually do.
Okay, now this is where things get really cool. See, ClawdBot is designed to act, not just chat. First off, it has a persistent memory. It also plugs right into the tools you probably already use, like Telegram or Slack, so you can talk to it from anywhere. And here's the real kicker. It can write and run code, execute system commands, and create actual files, like documents and spreadsheets. It even lets you swap between different AI models depending on what you're trying to do. It's an absolute powerhouse built for action. And believe me, that memory feature is a complete game changer. It's just like working with a real assistant, right? The more you talk to it, the more context you give it, the better it understands your workflow and your preferences. And that means its help becomes genuinely more useful and personalized over time. And we have to talk about privacy because this is probably the most crucial point of all. Because the agent is on your machine and it connects directly to the AI provider, your conversations aren't being sent through some random third-party server in the middle. Your data, your context, your files, they all stay with you, period. That is a huge deal. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing, but what's the catch? What does it actually take to get this thing up and running? Let's break down the essentials. All right, first question that's probably on everyone's mind. Do I need some kind of monster superpowered computer to run this thing? And the answer is a big fat nope, not at all. Remember, all the heavy lifting, the actual AI brainpower, is happening through that API call. Your computer is just running the lightweight agent software. What that means is it'll run on pretty much any modern Mac, Windows, or Linux machine you've got without eating up all your system resources. So, what's this going to cost me? Well, the ClawdBot software itself is 100% free and open source, which is awesome. The only cost you'll have is for the API usage with whatever provider you pick, like Anthropic or OpenAI. So basically, you only pay for what you use. The more you use it, the more it costs, but it's totally up to you. Okay, now for what's probably the biggest question mark for most people. You hear words like self-hosted and terminal, and let's be honest, it can sound pretty intimidating if you're not a developer. But let's just pull back the curtain on this. Look, it's not a one-click install, I'll give you that, but the process is actually really straightforward. You basically just get your API key from your provider, you run one single command in your computer's terminal, you follow the prompts to paste in that key, and then you just connect it to your favorite chat app. That's pretty much the whole shebang. It's a one-time setup, seriously. If you can follow a simple guide, you're looking at maybe 30 minutes of your time. And for that, you get a permanent, personal AI assistant. When you think about it, that is a pretty incredible trade-off. So, you've done the setup. What now? What does your day-to-day actually look like with this thing?
This is where you really move from just setting it up to having a brand new, powerful workflow. Well, you can start automating real work. You can get it to write and run code for you. You can have it manage your research by connecting it to the web for up-to-date info. You can literally ask it to draft a report or organize files right on your computer. And you do it all from a simple chat. You can even tweak its personalities so it feels less like some generic bot and more like your personal assistant.
At the end of the day, that's really the big takeaway here. ClawdBot isn't just another chatbot. It's your own private, local AI powerhouse, something that actually works with you and plugs into your digital world.
And that really brings us to the final, and I think most exciting thought. The potential for this kind of tool it's huge. So the real question isn't just what can ClawdBot do? It's when you have a private, powerful AI assistant living right on your own computer, what are you going to build with it?